now we also got some new consoles coming up. We got the Xbox One Scorpio in the pipeline, and also got the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, are these new systems interesting for you? Will WWE 2K17 say next year somewhere somehow gonna support one of them, or is it just something where you say, okay, it's a good start, or we're gonna see it in the future? What's coming out of that?
Okay. Well, I can tell you that for the PlayStation 4 Pro, we are actually going to support it. I can't tell you much at this time, but it is something that we're working on, and we'll have more to announce about it in the future. Obviously, these new consoles are exciting to everyone. There's a lot of new features and a lot of new functionality in them. So as developers, of course, we're excited to be able to get to work on new hardware, and we'll have more to announce in the future.
All right. So you can't tell me how this new hardware support's going to manifest itself within the gameplay?
No, I mean, obviously this is all very new to us as well. PlayStation 4 Pro has come very quickly. So, we're learning along with everybody else and working closely with Sony to make the best possible version we can, but we'll have to talk about it in the near future.
Okay. Is VR nice support as well? Something new that could be maybe something interesting in the future as well? Because we've seen, like in Rise of the Tomb Raider, that also like games that weren't meant to be VR could be VR. Maybe WWE 2K17, 18 or something.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly looking at all the new technologies, and we are looking at things like VR. For us, it's a little farther out. We have a little bit more work to do in trying to prototype and do things. We don't just want to, rush out and put VR on a box and make it a gimmick. We want to actually make it something we know the fans will enjoy. So for us, we're still in the learn about it, prototype, and explore VR space.
You also changed the way that weapons work, and what are the major changes you made there? Because I think that especially the ladder matches became very different.
Yeah, I mean, ladders, obviously, we did a lot of work on ladders this year. Once again, so many, it's hard to summate down to super small, but some of the things people will notice right away is we created a ladder bridge. So on the far side of the ring, you can pull one of the big ladders out and put it between the barricade and the ring and the arenas that we supported, and then you can throw guys on it, do moves onto it. You can do a lot of cool things with the ladder bridge. And on top of that, we simplified some of the way it worked inside the ring. One of the things we noticed was a lot of our consumers really struggled with positioning the ladder in a place that was usable in a way that made good gameplay. Yeah. So what we did was we kind of simplified we got it into the positions that would be good for people more often than not, and now people are having a lot more fun playing with the ladders because they're not struggling with ladder mechanics to try and have a good ladder match.
Yeah. I think especially when it comes to all these outside actions, the sound is very important, because I always felt that especially the sound of somebody hitting the stairs or the chairs or the ladders, whatever, just came off a little bit flat. Did you make any changes there? Maybe did some recordings during events or something?
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly trying to improve our audio. Obviously, audio is a big part of what the WWE is and what that experience is. One of the challenges we're constantly faced with is the live events are not great places to capture audio because it's so loud. Okay. So it's really hard to capture stuff out there, but we use as much as we can from the live events so it sounds as realistic as you'd want. There's also a lot of differences in between what you'd hear when you're at the show and what you hear when you're on broadcast. And so the other part we're trying to balance off is what's it like in a live event versus what's it like watching it on TV. And our game tends to lean more towards the broadcast style of it because we also include the commentary and all the other presentation elements as well.
Speaking of the commentary, I think it's always difficult to compare like a live commentary to the commentary within the game. But what have you done there? And we now have like different commentator teams now. Will this something be that could be added in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're constantly looking at what we should do with our commentary bench. The WWE recently went through a pretty big change with the brand split. So now that's something we're talking with the WWE about, trying to set up plans for what we do in the future. But for WWE 2K17, we really focus on making sure that the commentators can talk about the match in the way that feels natural to them. So we do a lot of ad-lib type sessions where we have recordings of moves in our game and the commentators just talk about it like they would as if they're watching it in the ring live at an event. So we're seeing a lot of that pay off in the game this year as we're starting to see more natural type commentary come out. And we've done a lot of other subtle things where we created a system that allowed us to better interrupt in progress commentary, so someone could talk over top of someone else. JBL might be having a comment, but Cole might jump in right over top because someone goes for a pin. So, you know, we created some extra systems like that to make it a lot more dynamic, like it is on the real, you know, commentary team.
Yeah. You also got like introduced like a huge amount of DLC characters, and everyone's like, "Wow, very very cool guys within there." Is it more difficult to implement new characters that weren't in the previous game, or rebuild the old ones, or the other way around, just refurnish the old ones?
Either way, it's a lot of work. Obviously, starting from scratch on a new character is the most amount of work. You know, it starts from us having to get scans, having to get reference photos, and, you know, depending on whether they're superstars we can get into a scanning booth that still look the way they're supposed to, or if they're historics that may not even be alive anymore, you know, the challenges vary greatly. There's a lot that goes into building a character. There's his look, there's his moveset, there's his entrance animations, and for a lot of historic guys, they'd never had Titantrons or, you know, all this other stuff as well that we have with our modern presentation. So we actually have to work with the WWE and build up all new assets that never before existed for some of these characters.
Are you especially proud of one special DLC or one special character within the game? Would you say that's my favorite and it's so cool to have him here?
I mean, that's a really, really tough one. I mean, there's a lot of great new characters this year. You know, I'm going to go based on the fan support that we got so far. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are very excited about Shinsuke Nakamura being in the game this year. And I think a lot of it is because he's so different from other WWE superstars. And it's someone that I don't think a lot of fans thought we'd see in the WWE. So it's a very exciting thing. But, you know, I'm also an older guy, so I, you know, grew up watching Tatanka and Eddie Guerrero and Roode the Barber Beefcake. So, you know, a lot of these guys are, for me, have a special place in my heart from my childhood.
That's true. Other games tend to have live updates within the game, and since WWE is just like developing so fast, would this be something you could implement as well, or is it something that's just too much work within the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, for now, it's not something we're looking at doing. The differences in between something like our NBA product that does live updates and what we do is when people change their character in the WWE, it means all new animations, all new entrances, videos, and it's a lot more than just changing a jersey and, you know, switching teams or having someone be called up. So for us, because we want to do this at a high level and the presentation and the amount of custom stuff per character is so high, we find it very challenging.
Yeah. Final question. Bobby Roode is not in the game, the glorious one, right? Didn't make it.
That's correct. He didn't make it.
Oh, that's too bad. Because he would be a great addition for the roster, wouldn't you much think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody has their favorite WWE superstar, and I know a lot of people are fans of Bobby Roode. You know, he didn't make the game this year, but that doesn't mean he might not make it in the future. And, you know, this year we added more of the NXT roster than we've ever seen in the past. We have NXT women's superstars in the game this year. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with how well we did with actually representing the current active WWE.
Yeah. But everyone wants the Glorious theme. That's the thing, you know. Everyone wants to have his own character coming out to Glorious. That would be great.
Yeah, I think for me, it's I find that everybody has their own special superstar that they really want, and obviously everybody's disappointed if they're not there. But judging from fan reaction so far this year, it seems like we have more people than ever that people are hoping for in the game. So I think that's a good thing.
I think so. Thank you. Thank you.